We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.
Hi, and welcome to our very, very special edition, our October 1st Independence Day edition, right here on Lagos Talks 913. I'm your host, Il Rhymes, and it is a great time to be Nigerian. We're talking about Nigeria now. We've had, our field reporters go onto the streets and get a bit of a pulse of how the average Nigerian feels, about this amazing country, which is Nigeria, since independence 61 years ago till date. Today we're celebrating liberation, we're pondering the way forward, reflecting on the past, and we're also probing into pending issues. Joining me today to dig into the crux of the discourse, is an individual who understands the Nigerian polity firsthand, both internally and externally. He's the he goes by different aliases. You might know him as Mr. Alistair Shoyode, a former presidential aspirant in the 2019 elections, and a former chairman of the Nigerians in the diaspora movement. You're very welcome on Lagos Talks with us today, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on this program.
Yes, you have another alias, and I would like you to say it, because when you said it to me, it was quite magical. I want the viewers and listeners to experience that alias firsthand as well.
Well, I'm not too sure if it is, but it's a mentoring commandant, Alistair, in the sense that what I tend to do, or what I have now been focusing on, is to mentor our young people who want to go into business, people who want to know more about leadership, and in collaboration with other Nigerians in the diaspora to support and empower younger people in Nigeria and now, by and large, across Africa.
Okay, that's simply amazing. The reason why I wanted you to do that intro is because, you said two keywords, mentoring and commandant. So yes, you want to inspire and motivate the future generation, but you also have an inkling that you want to lead them. So I'll kick off the conversation today, by engaging in a little bit of an analytical expose from 1960 to date. So the first question goes as thus, how far do you think we are from reaching the heights? We've passed heroes, collectively since independence. How far do you think we've come as a nation?
Well, the truth of the matter is, I think we have come very far. This is our 61st year since independence.
Yeah.
If we have to use a lot of our indices to classify us as a nation, surely enough, we will find quite a lot that we are not able to match from the 1960s to the year 2021. So yes. The reality is, if we have to take the score from 1960 through to during the Civil War of the 1970s, and then, of course, the coming back into democratic principle or participation in the 1970s, towards the end of the 1970s, and then again back to the military in the 1980s, mid-1980s, through to the 1990s, and now in this generation that we are. So it has been a long process as a nation, where we probably started in the 1960s in less than 50 million to more than 200 million now in this present situation as a nation. But nevertheless, we have definitely, one can say we're grateful to God for sustaining us and keeping us as a nation. But of course, that is a different opinion, because as you will agree, there are many other people, many other groups, many of the ethnic nationalities that are looking away for something new as an entity or as a nation. So scoring the score, one would not classify where we are today as when we started in the 90s.
Tale? Yeah. Okay, great. I thought I lost you for a second. You're reaching us today from the UK, I believe.
Yes, I'm presently actually in London, in one of our independent places, which is around the Nigerian kingdom.
Okay, perfect. A lot of people, have been mentioning change, and Nigerians have been asked to be patient, especially what as regards this current this current regime. Do you think, we are going to be able to see, the signs of greatness of old? And how do you think that we can actually start putting together these building blocks so that we can actually see this change that every true Nigerian really desires?
Well, the most important key thing in change has to start with the person that is actually seeking that change.
Yes.
As Nigerians, what are we really doing to make sure that we get the change we desire? You see, change can be negative and change can be positive. If somebody who wants to drown his sorrow by drinking is doing so, that is the change that he wanted to follow.
Yes.
If other people are saying, no, that's not the best way to change the situation, and they're now putting the positive ingredient and the substance that is required to make it positive and make it progressive, and they're able to do so, that is another change. So change again can be backward or can be forward. The question now is, what type of change do Nigerians yearn? And I guess most Nigerians yearn to see good governance, good leadership, all the things that people say they're going to do, they're able to do it with justice, equity, and peace and unity in their mind, that they're not just doing it for themselves, but they're doing it collectively for the aspiration of many Nigerians. Now,
yes,
that is the kind of change I believe most Nigerians are seeking for. But right now in our 61st, I've had one of our leaders or one of the governors in Nigeria asking a question: what are we celebrating in this year of independence? Now, the question again goes back to what we see as an individual people in a unit of one or in a unit of 1,000 or in millions, and that
yes,
there's a lot of challenges facing the Nigerian people. There's a lot of opportunity as well that the Nigerian nation and the Nigerian people can explore. Now, the change that we so much desire right now, based on the things that is happening around the country, is the change for a better and a stronger security system in the country. Now, if that is able to be achieved within the shortest time, when you do ask about this administration, they have less than 2 years to leave office. So can we achieve it? Is it possible to turn around the situation in the country and provide a better and a stronger security system? The answer is absolutely yes. Now, are the people who are supposed to provide the security able to do that? Do they have the good understanding of providing that change that is required to make it happen? Some of them may have the opportunity, some of them may have the knowledge. But again, I always say that when you have a defective system, and that defective system is producing offspring, it's producing things that you need to harvest. The truth of the matter is what you're going to harvest is a defective person, a defective system, because the product is a product of a defective system. So until we're able to change that, then the truth is we will not be able to gain and provide that change that is positive, that is profitable, that's progressive, that the Nigerian people are yearning.
That's just perfect, because it lands onto my next question, which is, in 2019, you did run to try and impact that change. From 2019 to 2021, as we are right now, do you think that this current administration has brought about positive or negative change?
I would like to say the administration, in true sense, positioned itself to create that positive change that the Nigerian people require. Now, when you now take I'm talking now from data and statistics, not from my own mouth, the majority of the Nigerian people felt that has not been achieved, that has not been delivered. And that's the reason why we're able to see and read and work with various ethnic groups, various grouping, various, I don't want to call it insecure organization, all imagine demanding for A or B or C. If there is a better qualitative leadership and living standard in the country, this will be reduced, absolutely. But it means we are not able to give that leadership that is required. So from 2019 to 2021, there is a big gap between that time and today. But you see, the beautiful thing about democracy as well is everybody will know that this administration only have till 2022, technically, because 2023 is actually the election. So can we bear the pain? Can we bear the challenges we're facing until then? The answer is absolutely yes. But again, anything can happen, as we have seen in some major international countries, whereby you think that what happened in that country is not going to happen. And within weeks, there was a total overhaul of the government, a total overhaul of the system, and the people that people are running away from, and they are the people that are in government. So anything can happen in the life of a nation. But what we pray for is that whatever it is, it will be a positive impact on the nation. And one of our top, maybe the vice president has spoken that if Nigeria broke into pieces, everybody will suffer. But of course, our prayer is we do not get to that stage. And those who are responsible, that are in a position to make sure that doesn't happen, need to really rise up and show justice, equity, and dealing with everybody as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in an equitable way.
Okay, since independence, we've toyed with multiple political structures up till today. In recent times, there's been a clamor for restructuring. What is your take on this restructuring? What does it mean to you? And do you think it's a catalyst to attaining, the heights that we can achieve as Nigeria?
To be honest, everybody's talking about restructuring.
Yes.
But for me, it's not going to work. Okay. Because I'll take it back to a simple, we have 774 local governments in the country.
Yes.
If there is injustice and you're not treating people equally and you're marginalizing some people, there will always be the demand for restructuring from that 774 local governments.
Yes,
now,
true.
There is nothing that is binding them together because whoever is in charge decided what he's going to do. Now, let's move to the state. We have 36 states, including the FCT. Yes. How many states actually follow and do the election as duly in their state under the state electoral organization agency? How many states actually do that without infringing on the independency of that organization or independency of their citizen in the state? Not many. How many governors are actually given the authority when they present budget from the beginning of the year and said, oh, Minister of Trade, we're going to give them this amount of money. Minister of Education, we're going to give them that amount of money. How many governors actually do that as soon as the budget is being passed, that they give them to the commissioner who is in charge of it? How many local government chairmen are in charge of their local government chairman, even though they said the budget and everything depend on them, they can handle everything in their local government? How many? How many times do people call their leaders accountable? How many times the governor move from one party to another after you voted for them from party D and they move away with your mandates to another party, which you did not vote for? How many? Restructuring is not work unless you have an equal justice that is going to treat everybody equally. So I'm sorry to talk about restructuring. It's not going to work.
Talking about political parties, do you believe we're moving into a one-party state with the reset?
I don't think so. No, I don't
with
think so.
APC and PDP?
No, I don't think so. Well, at least now that you mentioned PDP and APC, that's two parties. So there will be other parties. There will be other parties. But what is actually happening is some of the people that you respect their detail and their name and their profile, who are in another party, before you can breathe and finish identifying them, you will now find out again they have moved to another party, another movement. They are just confusing themselves and confusing the electorate. At the end of the day, individually, it seems like everybody's looking for something. And I always say, it's not a crime to look for something that is yours, that you want to control, as long as you're doing it in a legal way. As long as you're doing it with justice, equity, it doesn't matter. You can write a book and become a billionaire. It's your brain. You wrote it. But what is criminal is for me to vote for you in a party A. And just because something is happening in your party, our party, because remember, the party doesn't belong to the government. The party belongs to all of us that are voting for you under that party. Yeah? So something happened in your boardroom, you don't own the company, and you just decided to rename the company name and keep everything that belongs to our own party in your office. Yeah. It's a criminal offense. I shouldn't allow it to happen. Right? Senators decamping from one party to another are moving. No, when you decamp, there should be a by-election to see if you're strong enough to maintain that place. When INEC begin to make sure that the moment you decamp, you withdraw, they take away your certificate.
Exactly. Or you have to wait to another
State House Assembly
cycle, then people will hesitate. Exactly.
No. The moment they decamp, you withdraw their certificate and you tell them there are no more senators. There are no more members of the House of Representatives. There are no more members of the government, State House of Assembly. Then now INEC is working. Then now INEC is doing what the Nigerian people want. Or not even what the Nigerian people want, but INEC is following their rules. For now, INEC is not even following their own rules. So one way you like what you do, the other way you don't like what you do, but at the end of the day, they contribute to the problem we're facing in the country.
Yes.
They need to do something about it. So that's the way I see it.
It's a constant state of a double standard. Let's speak about the different sects of Nigerians that we have. We have Nigerians at home, and we also have Nigerians abroad. You know, if I'm quoting you correctly, you know, you were the chairman of the Nigerians in the diaspora. You know, is it safe to say? Hello?
Yeah, a former chairman of the Nigerian diaspora organization, NIDO, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Is it safe to say that, you know, if the Nigerians in the diaspora were allowed to, you know, have more of a participation in the elections for 2023, how much of an impact do you think Nigerians abroad, you know, would bring to the table or would have as a cause effect to the country or to the election?
But right now, sir, the Nigerian in diaspora organization are the engine that is keeping Nigeria going. Without them, there's no Nigeria.
Wow.
They contribute more than $20 billion on a yearly basis in terms of remittances, which is in terms of personal development to Nigerian people.
Yes.
Now, if they withdraw that money, that is almost the Nigerian budget.
Wow.
Then you know there will be a lot of suffering across the country. This is money that those who are in the diaspora are sending home on a yearly basis, more than $20 billion. Yet these people have no say in the system as such. People see them as those who should not be given the opportunity to build and develop the country. My take is without the diaspora, there is no Nigeria because the hardship and the challenges will increase. The benefit that we even generate in terms of leadership is because the Nigerian and the diaspora in the different countries, of course, they're contributing to that nation as well. And people are recognizing what they're doing and supporting their cry when they cry out.
Yes, we did hear one of the members of the House when they were having a session say, you know, that the Nigerians in the diaspora are enjoying themselves, and why should they have a say as to, you know, what's happening with Nigerians at home who are suffering, which was, you know, received by lots of heavy criticism, with Nigerians say that is a ludicrous statement. And, you know, what you said about the amount of revenue that they even generate, Nigerians in diaspora remit back to Nigeria, you know, more than anything else, it validates why they should have a strong voice.
Well, definitely, without any doubt. I respect everybody's opinion, right? But then the point is now let's sit down between us and them and see who is actually doing good thing for Nigeria. See, because you're a Nigerian and you're spoiling the name of Nigeria, you're not better than a Nigerian who is branding and making Nigeria a great nation. People are privileged to be there because they have been running around, and those many people who are in position of power have never really sincerely run any business before being in position of power and leadership in our country.
Yes.
Check all their CV. Who are they before they became the people who decide other people's lives?
Yeah. They haven't
what business do they run?
Senior advocates, they haven't been top industry leaders. Very few of them have been.
Because in order to make profit, you need to identify people who are making profit in their business. In order to build a good family, you need to understand people who have tried building good families within their own home and in their own life. To be a good driver, you need to drive qualitatively. You need to drive according to the law. You need to drive according to the highway rules and regulations. Without that, then really and truly you can drive, but you're not a qualified driver. Okay, so at the end of the day, most of our people who are elected just happen to stumble because the party broke into pieces, and then somebody has to put a name forward before the INEC closing date, right? Because you're serving the governor or the minister, they quickly put your name there to hold that position for that stake. And then before you know, the election day is here. And then before you know, they're not campaigning for that person. But what did the person do?
Yes.
Yeah, even if he's in charge of a ministry, how
well has he done?
Ministry.
What's his portfolio? What's
nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Now, when they are in the house, then you find them that they're not telling you that they run this company, they are executed. Honestly, majority of our people who are in position of power, honestly, shouldn't be there.
They're not. Out of merit. There's been a big story that has been hitting all the internet's websites, the popular blogs and news sites, showing a bunch of pro-Buhari protesters who are allegedly been given money to, pro rallies, in support of the president. You see even foreigners wearing T-shirts, hats, all doing some sort of a campaign pro our current leadership. What is your take on that?
Well, the truth is, it's not illegal to lobby people. It's not illegal to pay people. At least it took place in the United Nations vicinity. So which means these people were not arrested for breaking any law. Now, the point is, the person who sponsored them, it's just like lobbying, actually. And people pay lobbies, okay? So this guy, whoever they are, whichever organization, it is indeed lobby. Now, what you have to look at is other organizations as well that are looking for international recognition. Likewise, go to international places. Much maybe they did not pay, if they want to use the word pay, those who went in to shout on their behalf.
Yes.
Right? So there's no difference between that and the other. The point is, do they make good statements? And as other people identify, saying, are you guys Nigerian? They say, oh, no, we're not. Okay. And then what happened? Why are you doing this? Because we believe we are called to do this on behalf of the suffering of the Nigerian people. Because if that's the presentation made to them by the person or the organization, that's what they're standing on. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we have to look at the bigger picture. That nevertheless, the name Nigeria is in the international community for various reasons, from the negative to the positive. And it now depends on the Nigerian people to see how we can turn around the negative to positive stories and try to build our country.
Controlling the narrative. And speaking about that, if you could create a profile for who your ideal candidate for the 2023 elections would be, give us a rundown of what you would like this person's, resume to look like, what attributes, what characteristics, and if there's any Nigerian that you think, you would like to nominate, if you could nominate to be president for 2023, because we will look at the array of potential candidates that we would have, AKA or ETC. We're hearing rumors of former President Goodluck Jonathan, he might be throwing his hat into the ring. We're also hearing rumors of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Jagaban, running for 2023. As is right now, a lot of Nigerians are still speculating, are we going to see a return of Atiku? Are we going to see Peter Obi, throwing his hat in the ring? Are we going to see Mr. Alistair throw his hat in the ring for 2023?
Wow, it's a beautiful question. And the reality is, according to the Nigerian Constitution, every Nigerian who is more than 35 years of age have got completed GCE, is entitled, is Nigerian, is entitled to run for any position in the country. That's number one. Number two, I would really like to see the opportunity. Let me quote what one of our former presidents says, that he would like to see people under 60 or around 60 to become the president of Nigeria. Number three, because my name is mentioned, I do not see myself worse than any of the names that have been mentioned. In fact, because I have been a former chairman of Nigerians in the Diaspora organization, I've run a business both home and abroad. I will not disqualify myself, but I'm not putting myself either. Number four, let's look at anybody who has really have a successful business that has really impacted the people around him and their community and their state and the country by and large.
Yes.
That is the kind of person that I would really like to see in a position. I've come across many of our younger generations saying they want to run for the presidency. Now, my question to them is, what business have they run? What kind of family situation have they encountered? What kind of life challenges have they dealt with? What network do they have apart from their local network in terms of international reach? What name credibility do they have in their name? Would their name be respected? Nevertheless, you can give example that it doesn't normally need to happen, but when you now have 11 players, my take is for you to pick the best 11 players that you have as a goalkeeper, as a defender, as a right back, as a fullback, as a midfield player, as a winger, as a striker. You will not put a goalkeeper to go and play in a striking position if you have strikers on the bench.
Yes.
So among the names that you have mentioned, some of them are of age, but they're still able to stand if their party nominated. And across the road, as we have more than 2 political parties, almost 20, each of the political parties represent a country. Now, the point really is if the Nigerian people honestly want to see a change in the dynamics of the country, if there are more than 18 million Nigerians who have the voting card, still believe that it's not you that they're going to vote for, there's nothing that we can do about it.
Yes.
But the fact is, you can at least try to present your case and say, I can definitely change the narrative of Nigeria. Sometimes I think we need to come out of the box. The so-called box that we have engulfed ourselves and keep ourselves, we need to change the ethos. We have seen all the former leaders doing the right thing according to what they believe. But at the end of the day, Nigeria can definitely change within a year. If you find the right people who honestly want to serve the Nigerian people, Nigeria, my beautiful country, my beloved nation, can definitely change. It's not just about passion or compassion. It's about you do not have, there's somebody who have a criminal record, really and truly, may be able to do it, but of course, there is a weight upon their shoulder. People who have psychopaths who have been running around them, thousands in number, when they get into position, they will have to settle some of these people. And that's why I believe that somebody who's out of the box, who know the system, know less of the people who just want to hang around, will be able to have the free hand to do what is required. At the end of the day, if we apply justice, the rule of law, even in the so-called constitution that we're complaining about, Nigeria will be better, more than where she is as of today, because it's not every part of our Nigerian constitution that is effective. It's not every part of that constitution that is bad. And at the end of the day, people say the constitution was made and produced by military. Are the military not Nigerians? They are Nigerians, right? And every situation or every season has what happened within that season. It's like back in the days here, we said, let me use a good word, that people who want to live together of the same sex, they don't used to come forward to be known. But right now in the West, it is recognized, especially in the United Kingdom, and you cannot abuse them, you cannot molest them, you cannot discriminate against them, neither can you discriminate against many of the things that they say you shouldn't. And the moment you do it, you face the music. So it's the same situation that I want Nigerian people to take into consideration. That for us to change, we really need to look out of the box. And if the people that we're thinking should go and stand, and they're honestly willing to change the system, then they have the strength and the capacity. And hopefully they may have the will to make Nigeria better.
So in a nutshell, we should be looking at the individual and the individual's character and characteristics. Do you think Nigeria is ready for an independent candidate? Do you think the youth have the numbers? Do you think they have the willpower? Do you think they have the financial backing to say, we want to take control of our country? We're going to set aside these 2 major political parties, because historically it's said that between the last 16, now 20, going into 23, 24 years, between these 2 political parties, they haven't brought out a leader that Nigerians can truly stand behind. In 2015, they presumed they had found this messiah/leader, but now you can see a lot of Nigerians regretting, recanting, and saying, you know what, they're totally disappointed. Do you think if Nigerian, especially the youths, are sensitized appropriately now, do you think with the right galvanization, with the right pulling together of the Nigerian youth, do you think that they can back an independent candidate in a new party to create the right sort of change, you know, that this country needs? Or do you think one of these political parties can still lead us to a better place?
Well, the truth is, yes, the youth, they have the power. They have the strength, they have the number. The point is, of course, we have the North and the South. The South will be looking for a type of leaders. The North will be looking for a different type of leader. That's the truth. The point is, if the youth definitely are tired, they will be able to pick the right candidate. But then you need to find the person that can bring the youth, and not just the youth, the Nigerian populace with the power to vote. So far, what we are having is 80% of the people who are talking that they want to stand or they should be pushed to stand are all from the old generation that have been ruling the country.
Yes.
Now, the new generation that are coming, the likes of maybe 1 or 2 or 3 that have been talking, I still want to see them that their hands of extension, they haven't yet extended their arms and their hands across the country. They are still been seen and start kind of representing themselves like a regional leader who want to be a national leader.
Yes.
That needs to change. We have had some of the leaders or some of the cultural leaders talking about, if you don't do this, we're not going to honor you. This thing belongs to us, it's ours.
Yeah.
Hey, even the best heavyweight boxer in the world can go into the ring and be knocked out.
Yes.
And that do happen. So I would really like to see where the person or the people who want to promote a candidate are able to come out. They so far, look at the whole radar. We haven't seen who is the alternative candidate that are independent, right? Even all those that are saying and really promoting and campaigning that they want to be the president. So far, they have jumped from a party to another. None of them has, I'll be honest, they have changed party. So they stand in a political party in the last election. It come 2023, they want to go to another party.
A different party because they didn't have the success in the last election. And you'd think as a relatively smart person, what you should be doing is building capacity in that party because you're in the party because of its manifesto, its ideals, and what its core message. When you look at the Nigerian political system, when parties come out, we're stuck looking at, this candidate and some sort of a resume, but their manifestos, when they do get into power, are not what they've promised the Nigerians, especially as we've seen in the last 2 dispensations. So I'm going back to the sensitization, and that's why Lagos Talks especially is on Independence Day. Instead of just doing a blatant celebration, we're bringing people who have aspired for the #1 spots in the country. And we're having a conversation with them saying, this is Nigeria now. Be candid with us. What is the state of Nigeria now? Are we progressing? Are we regressing? Do we need to take a time out and say before 2023, if we do want to see positive change, these are the pillars that we need to put into place? Because I'm of the opinion as a gatekeeper, as a journalist now, that our foundation is extremely shaky. We don't have the basis. We're trying to fly before we can even crawl. Let's go to the root of our political parties. Do the youth even know what they stand for? What their core messages are? If you look at the American system now, the core values of the Democrats, the core value of the Republicans, and the core values of the of the liberals. If we did a census today, would the average Nigerian youth be able to tell the different political parties apart? Do you think they would be?
Well, I'm not too sure because there's some data information that I'm going to share around the Independence Week. For you to really see all those people that are in government, that they have moved from one party to another throughout, and then it's just the same cycle of people who basically, in terms of ideology, there isn't that much.
Yeah.
In terms of honest opinion being presented, not much. Yes. And at the end of the day, as I said, it's not a criminal offense for people to move from one party to another. It's not a criminal offense, and it's definitely not illegal. But what is illegal is for me to vote for you in a party A, and then for you to be tired and then run away with my mandate to another party. Yes. I was running away from that party.
And you've taken my vote.
I moved to this party, and you have taken my card to that party. It's like somebody, maybe you're divorced from a woman or divorced from a man. You don't have anything to do with that partner anymore. And somebody who come to your house then took your car and go and drop it to that partner. That is criminal. that is, you're adding more pain to that person's life.
Yes, 100%.
You're running away from this street because you don't want to. Somebody has been attacking you, and suddenly you took away my mandate, my food that I trusted you with, and you went to that person's place with my mandate. That is criminal. That is illegal. If you think you have the mandate, you have the strength, then as you move, that's what I'm saying. INEC then need to say bye-bye. Let's have a by-election between the PDP, the APC, the all political party, or between the APC and the PDP and the ABGA and all the other political parties to see if you will win again.
Yes,
that is what needs to happen.
You know, if they moved for the party, or if they voted for the party, or voted for you, because a lot of the times why they move to these two major parties is they rely on the backbone that these parties have. They rely on their machinery. So even if the candidates are not even who we end up voting for, we end up just seeing these appointed, and which is a shame, because it's a democracy. They shouldn't be appointed individuals. They should be people who have been voted for. They're meant to canvass for votes. They're meant to get the people on their side, and they're meant to win elections. As it is right now, like it's a facade. We want this guy.
Serious, I think.
He's in this part, so he's going to win.
The first time I learned about something politically was in South Africa when I was monitoring the election, and when they removed the president, and as they said they removed him being the party leader, the next person in charge just became the prime minister, the president at that time. The same thing here in the United Kingdom. The party leader is the one who controls most of it, but I think it's done in a political process. Yes. So for me, what Nigeria need to do, INEC need to do, the moment a governor, the camp, a senator, the camp, from party A, they should just give the second person in that party the seat.
Exactly.
Then you will see people stop.
They need to make a bylaw to enforce. That way you think twice about leaving and jumping ship, especially within the same tenure. You know, make them wait it out, finish whatever hurdles you have to do with that party. The next election cycle, you can go to another party if you want to switch ideologies. I think you've made, perfect sense. We're almost running out of time. I'm going to ask you to tell us what is your message for the Nigerian youth? What's your message for, this current generation, in totality, for the over 200 million Nigerians as we celebrate Independence Day? Is it a message of hope? Is it a message of caution? What do you have to say to the people on Independence Day, as Nigeria now?
Well, we are grateful to God that in 1960, some people made it possible for us to gain our independence. In 2021, there's more questions asked by this independent nation than in 1960, because in 1960, our population is much more lower, much more educated, much more enlightened, less thing to worry about, less thing to fight for, compared to today that the population is so big, yet we have more challenges than ever before. The best thing that one can say is, yes, let's give hope a chance so that we can all contribute to making Nigeria the most beautiful, the most secure, the most developed nation that the country has the opportunity and the potential to be. Now, for that to happen, each and every Nigerian that definitely has the capacity to vote or will be able to register to vote, all this things depend on them. Watching some videos that are coming from our country will make you cry non-stop. The challenges of our elders, vulnerable women from the north to the south is challenging, and any decent human being that has the capacity to change the life and the narratives of the Nigerian people must really, really stand up and be counted to provide the solution that is needed. And I believe without the National Assembly, we have a bigger challenge. The bigger problem that we're facing as a nation is all again down to the speaker in the National Assembly, from the senators to the members of the House of Representatives. If they do not count the pain and the suffering of Nigerian people, then the Nigerian people should do the right thing, to be honest, to say they will not and should not vote in any of the candidates that are listed in the State House Assembly and in the National Assembly. Every youth that have the capacity to read or not to read, but whatever it is, don't ring these same names in.
Yes.
And if going to vote legally, don't vote them in. Collect your money from them, don't vote them. Pick any other David among the Goliaths.
Yes.
Vote for that David. Let him go and eat too. Maybe he will share with you if it is about eating, right? Say bye-bye to these people. They have ate, they have been privileged. God has blessed them to enjoy the benefit of the cake of the National Republic of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let other people go in and do the changes and give freedom, give support to those who are there. The armed forces, give them the support that is needed for them to do the job. Share with them whatever information you have. When you come across those who are not Nigerians that are committing crime, tell the nation, tell the people. One, somebody, somewhere, we hear the cries of the people. And at the end of the day, whatever you eat that has been contributed, that has been concealed in a product that has used the blood of Nigerian people to produce it, let me tell you, you are committing a crime, either under your religion or under your ethnic background. What I'm talking about is don't allow your sweat to be used to create havoc and pain on other people while you know. Because if the nation does not know, Nigeria is a religious nation, God, your creator, is fully aware of it.
At all.
You will be judged based on that. But let's all of us give hope, the chance that indeed we can make Nigeria a better nation if those who are able to vote can go out to vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The mentoring commandant, full salute.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. People, across the world are going to watch this video. All our listeners are listening to this live on air. It is part of our October 1st series. We want to inspire the youth. We want to inspire Nigerians to believe in Nigeria. Thank you for, this history lesson and this, political refresher, letting us know about the state of Nigeria from this 1960, where we currently stand now, and what we need to do for the future of Nigeria. My name is Il Rhymes. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, Mr. Alistair, with us on Lagos Talks as part of our Vote Nigeria series. Keep being the shining Nigerian star that you are, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Nigerians, thank you so much for tuning in right here. This is Lagos Talks 913. Watch this video online. Go over to our YouTube page at lagostalks.com. You can also check this out as a podcast on our website at www.lagostalks.com. On Instagram, watch out. We will be putting out an Instagram live video for you as well, and a story video where you can actually watch the full length, and also go on over to our YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and watch more of this amazing series. One more time, a very special shout out and thank you to Mr. Alistair for joining us on this epic series. Good night.
We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.